Hi, Taurus. I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your astrology and a general tarot reading for you for the month of March. I'm still going to be doing my weeklies, but I just figured out we'd just front load the astrology with a Celtic cross spread, just to do something different. And I'm still going to work the astrology into my regular tarot readings as well. But we have so much good energy going on right now, and I really am so excited because it is like for many of us, who and most pretty much everybody watching my channel anyway is very tuned in, is very aware, energetically. We're all feeling this. We're all feeling this sort of ending of a cycle, and it's it is kind of like the last page of that book, or the credits as they're rolling, credits begin to roll at the end of that show, right, for that final season. A lot of us are going to be feeling it, so, but in a good way. This is where you know if things are ending, it's because we're feeling it energetically. It's time for it to end. Things are going to be changing and updating. Lots of really good updates right now. It's because we've been waiting on stuff, and we've been doing a lot of work and a lot of waiting, and things are going to finally start to come to fruition. Mars has been kind of hiding in this shadow for January, February, and it's finally going to be out, right? Finally, it's going to be out in Gemini. And so we're going to be feeling a lot more energized and a lot more able to actually communicate really well, especially now that Mercury's out of retrograde, even though he's not out of shadow yet until the middle of the month, that post shadow. But still, we're going to be feeling this lightening up. So I want to just get into what I consider to be the most important aspects that are going to be going on this month, and then I'm going to pull some energies, a Celtic cross spread. So starting with March 4th and 5th, we do have Jupiter and Mercury conjunct in Aquarius, and that's going to be happening in your 10th house for you, Taurus. So 10th house is all about public reputation, your career, public reputation, your standing in the world. It's also marriage, right? Because it's what you are known as. So it is like the institution of marriage. It's fame. It's your reputation. It's the macro, I call it the macro element of your career, meaning like the area that you're in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you're an artist, right? So that would be that area. But what are you doing in art? We would look more at like the second house, sixth house for that. You understand? So that 10th house area, that's where this is going to be happening for you guys. So what this is going to mean for you is a lot of really good information flow coming in. There's a lot of these very fortunate energies, my friends. Oh man. And a lot of synchronicities are going to be going on for you, having to do primarily with your career. Okay. Good ideas for teaching, publishing, really good for publishing. On the whole, these couple of days, the 4th and the 5th, it's, when I always add a day or two on each side, they're going to tend to be quiet and pretty content. Like the vibe is pretty serene, but this is likely the time of calm before your next expansion, if that makes sense. So there's going to be a low key growth in your poise, in your tolerance, in what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do in having to do with this 10th house energy. But it's like you're vibing it internally almost. It's sort of very low key. New people, this is the thing. You may meet new people having to do with your career. A lot of them may be because Jupiter is the ruler of that ninth house. So this could be doctors, lawyers, teachers, another professional, anybody who is able to expand your comprehension of something and your level of consciousness. And they're really going to be encouraging your confidence right now, which is really, really good. You may feel more thoughtful in this energy, though, very kind of like introspective, very pensive, thinking about studies. Conversations in your life are going to be focused on what have you learned about your past? What are you still processing from your past? And then what do you want to do for your future? Again, having to do with this 10th house energy, primarily for you, for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, who have this aspect. Again, it depends on what your general placements are. You are the placements, but you may think of religious or philosophical concepts right now. Making moral judgments again, because that's what Jupiter rules all of that. You're going to be weighting ethical considerations while deepening or shifting your personal philosophy about your career, about your reputation, right? About what you're doing on more of a global scale. And if there's an underlying restlessness that some of you might be experiencing here, where there's almost an urge within you that's stirring for change, something that would end up ultimately you feel like giving you more freedom than you have right now, this could even be a basic itch for travel, right? Because again, Jupiter rules that ninth house, which is Sagittarius. It's all about travel. It could even be mental travel, through taking on a new area or a very intense approach to study. You're going to feel pushed to do that, and then do it if you can, right? Because your literal or metaphorical backpack is going to be packed and really waiting for you at the door here, right? So again, this is going to be hitting anything in your house of career, public reputation. It could even be 10th house also rules government, anything having to do with the government. So those of you who maybe work for government, or maybe you're very involved in politics, but it really would be more some of you who do something in one way or another. Maybe you have a YouTube channel based on politics, you do a blog, or you're involved in the news industry, right? Obviously, it's going to be for choice few of you, but you're going to be expanding your career opportunities through business negotiations. They're going to be going really well, especially if for those of you Taurians who have been feeling very held back in this area, and I do know a lot of you have been, there's going to be a lot of increased communication, a lot of networking online in general, including marketing and advertising, learning a new approach to something through maybe a workshop or a seminar. This is also very favorable energy to tie the knot. For those of you in that space, I know a lot of people are having weird weddings now. Maybe you just decide, you know what, hey, let's do this. It's a really good energy to get married, Taurus, for you guys. Not everybody, but for you guys it is. And then we have March 10th to the 15th. I'm calling these very mystical days, okay? These are going to be very trippy days from the 10th to the 15th, because we have the stellium in Pisces. So we have the sun is going to be conjunct both Venus and Neptune in Pisces. And this is going to be happening in your 11th house of goals, gains, friends, associates, associations that you're involved in. It's also the second house it's also the second money house, right? That's what we call it, the house of gains. Right, because the fifth house, 11th house axis a lot of times has everything to do with like entrepreneurial efforts. So this is great for any sort of artistic project, romance. But the thing here is, it's positive. I'm not saying it's not, but I do have to say, whenever Neptune is in the house, we always have to say, all right, we have to keep our feet planted on the ground, because there's smoke and mirror action going on here. You just have to be careful of deception. This is an ideal time to take some time off and get your ducks in a row and really think, if you can. Not everybody can right now. Or just try to find a renewed sense of like peace and serenity in your life, especially if you're going through a stressful time, right? Everybody's at a different space. But pressure could give you anxiety that is not unfounded right now. So this could be coming from a person or particular situation that you're going through in your life right now, where you're feeling unsure, insecure, you suspect somebody might be deceptive. Maybe you're even being deceptive, maybe not even on purpose. Maybe you're just not clear. Again, whenever Neptune is hanging out there. But it's more like you feeling internally in a way that it's like you have an itch that you can't reach, right? Because there's a version of a reality that you envision in your mind that may be unrealistic or exaggerated regarding long-term plans, regarding some sort of collaborative effort that you're now undertaking, especially where money's concerned. So any plans or schemes that are presented now may not end up working out. And you feel this though. You feel they may, but you're kind of feeling like, oh, I don't think it's going to go well. But you're not really even talking about it, right? Kind of get, because you're just not sure. You're just not sure. And the thing, even if it hasn't come to pass yet, you're just sort of intuitively feeling it. And no doesn't mean that you should be like a negative Nancy surrounding something. I want to be very clear here, because this really is a beautiful energy. But again, because Neptune is in the house, you just want to be careful. You want to make sure that everybody's walking their talk. You want to just, you know, enjoy the dreamy energy, but understand that something may not come to fruition. Just understand that. Be cautiously optimistic. So just don't make any sweeping decisions with long-term consequences. Give something some breathing room to manifest more clearly. At the same time, try your very best to be very considerate of others that are in your life right now, if you can. Really good energy to soft sell some ideas for consideration approval having to do with your job, anything that maybe you're trying to sell, anything that you're trying to convince somebody of in that 10th house energy, which is actually really, really nice. Really good energy for auditions too. Excellent for auditions, those of you who are in that space. This Pisces stellium is a really interesting one, though. I am saying this because the dynamic between the inner and the outer planets is going to give you the feeling that something needs to be released. You may not even really be sure of what it is exactly. That's the thing. You may not be sure what's going on with my reputation. How are people feeling about me? What's going on? You might feel a little foggy about it. What's really going on with my marriage? What's going on with my career? You may be feeling this. If you are, don't worry about it. It's the stellium, but you may be feeling like, oh, I need to release something. And this is the thing, right? Now, and I've been saying this, it's like the energy that we've been in from 2020 all the way 2020 into this very beginning of 2021. It's almost like where the stellium is, especially, we've been doing this big inhale, right? And we're holding our breath, and we're holding our breath, and we're holding. We have to exhale. You can't just inhale. You have to exhale, right? You can't just take things in. You have to excrete things too, right? So there's got to be this balance, right? So you've been inhaling a situation for quite a while, and now it's time to exhale, even if you don't feel fully ready to, and even if you're not quite sure what that is that needs to be released, particularly in the 10th, this 10th house area. Remember, it's like I've been saying, it's like the credits are rolling at the end of the show, right? That connection, that friendship, like how, how's it going? How are you feeling? All of that, right? And asking those big questions and having follow through with giving yourself some sort of answer. But it is going to be a very dreamy energy. Just understand, because it's very dreamy and romantic, a lot of, things could be said, things could be promised, which again, nothing wrong with that. But just, do a lot of dreaming and a lot of, wouldn't it be wonderful if, and this is what I would like to do, and this is what I'm going to bring to myself. I but just understand that things may not manifest right now, but great, great energy to plant seeds. Then on the March 13th, we have the new moon in Pisces in your 11th house again. So more 11th house energy here, guys. This is going to mark the beginning of a new cycle. The Aquarius new moon is out. Pisces new moon cycle begins. And this is really good to commit to personal long-term goals for you guys, right? Because it's in that 11th house of goals that express the positive energies of Pisces, which is about taking a leap of faith in a business venture, or if you thought you weren't good enough, this energy is going to push you to accept imperfections in yourself. You might be in this space where you've been arguing with yourself about something. I'm not good enough to do something, or I'm not qualified to do something, or, whatever it is, fill in the blank, but you not good enough, right? This energy is going to push you to accept imperfections, not only in yourself, but also maybe in a situation that you're looking to get into. Maybe where you were, not that you were being negative in your approach, but maybe you were like, I can't do that because of A, B, and C. And then because of this and this, I definitely can't do it. And and in this energy, you're going to all of a sudden be like, well, wait a minute, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I could actually be really good at this. And you're just going to be pushed because you're going to have a different it's like your eyes are going to be changing, right, in how you perceive yourself and others, right? The sense of perception is going to be and but in a good way. This is actually a good way. So it's just great for starting any kind of projects that require a lot of imagination, visualization. Again, that 11th house, I love it for anything that you want to take on, as far as maybe a new business, uh, anything where it would require you engaging with other people and creating some sort of community. So really good. Anything online, even any sort of vlog, anything like that. Really, really good. Even if it's just, joining forces with people to create your own even small business. Really nice. But take some time out, though. You don't want to just overwork and be totally focused on that, because energetically it's very easy to exhaust yourself in this energy. But just, a lot of planting seeds right now, sharing your dreams, what you want to do with your friends, with your family, people who matter to you, right? Don't feel like anything is too pie in the sky to actually work right now. This is almost like weeding out. Like, you're doing this, but you want to be doing that. You're not sure how to get from this to that. Well, dream, figure out, do some research, talk about it, manifest it, right? say, this is what I'm gonna do. I just have to figure out exactly, the pragmatic steps to get from here to there, but I'm totally gonna do it. Not jumping into that pool just yet, but collecting the information is really, really good. Again, more about discussing the framework of possibilities in order to actually bring that dream into reality is something that a lot of Taurians are going to be feeling. And this is very potent Pisces energy right now, it really is. This is going to be a very powerful Pisces season because of other aspects that are going on. But you have the chance to make a very, very important change or changes in your life. Now, the new moon is especially creative and romantic because it's aligned with the alignment is with Venus and Neptune in a very beautiful, beautiful dynamic. So Venus and Neptune are approaching a conjunction in Pisces. That's going to be happening from the 24th to the 29th. So major bodies are direct here. So this is going to be contributing to a feeling of moving forward, and hallelujah, right? Because haven't we felt like we're like have that like metaphorical harness on? We're going to start to feel this. And we have Sirius is going to be conjuncting Chiron in Aries. I really like this because Chiron is all about healing, right? At the time of this new moon. So it's going to be giving us all a sense that we're growing. We're growing, and it's going to be helping each of us to engage with one another. It doesn't even matter where it's hitting. It's just going to have kind of this global impact, the way I'm seeing it. About our sensitivities to vulnerabilities, and now for you guys, for the 11th house, that's Aquarius is the landlord there. That's the house of the humanitarian, and just thinking very much about the collective and a we energy. So I really like this because I feel like a lot of you may be working on projects that are going to go really, really well, having to do with either the general collective, or it's just going to make a difference in somebody's life, or not lives, like not just you. In other words, I don't feel like whatever you're putting out there is focused just for you. I feel like it's going to be focused for a collective. It's just a very mushy energy too. It's pretty delicious in my opinion. So the next transit I want to talk about, we have March 20th. Woo! It's the astrological new year, one of the most important days of the year. So excited. Yes, yes, yes. It's going to be happening in your 12th house. This is going to be impacting you guys on the subconscious. Beautiful, beautiful. The spring equinox, the focus of the sun in Aries in the 12th house, is going to get you thinking about how to best meet your needs and pursue your happiness. And the thing is, where you're happy, awesome. Awesome. You're going to figure out maybe how to even make it better, or just have a different sense of appreciation. But you're also going to be noticing areas that maybe have reached their expiration date, guys. A lot of it. If you're really awake and paying attention, you're going to see what part of your life, it could be your career, could be where you live, could be that relationship, that friendship, that family connection, whatever it is, everyone's going to be feeling it. And also depends on where your other placements are, right? Because you're going to be feeling it also where your other placements are. But there's going to be this sense that like we've reached the expiration date of something, right? And that things need to be released. So for you though, this is a very internal astrological new year. The energy is going to bring flashes of insight that can easily change your perception of what you really need, right? And what you truly value as well. And how you earn money, for sure. This can be felt through sudden epiphanies, flashes of insight, a lot of you even through dreams, a lot of serendipitous situations, even maybe through a conversation with a friend or a family member, or just strolling through the internet, something pops out at you. Great energy for you to be creative with what you love. Remember, Venus is your ruler, right? So nature, good food, the arts, anything sensual, anything Venusian appealing to the five senses is going to help solidify what matters to you and why. And don't be surprised if you realize that you love something that you really didn't even realize up to this point. It's just like occurring to you. whatever it is. Oh my gosh, I realize I love like whatever, this kind of vegetable, or this kind of wine, or this type of art. I always thought I liked this type of art, but this is really speaking to me, or this, style home, or these types of clothes, or a lot of you may be right really thinking about you getting some sort of new look. A lot of that gets done, that imagining gets done in the 12th house to pop into that first house of self, which is when it's the best time to do any sort of external work. So a lot of you may be in that space of figuring that out. Now, on March 24th to the 29th, we have Venus and the Sun conjunct Aries in your second house. So you're going to be feeling motivated and passionate about your personal finances and all things that you value. So that could be anything from money, the food you put in your mouth, the roof over your head, the clothes on your back, or how you feel about your sense of self. All right. How do you feel in your own skin? Do you feel good about how you are financially compensated in your life, right? Having to do with maybe your career, whatever it is that you do. Do you feel good about where you are in your life in general? How do you feel about the food that you put in your mouth? Are you in a good space with your health and your physical being? How about the clothes that you're wearing, the roof over your head? Again, thinking about all of these things, there's going to be a focus on fairness and how you feel in a way that you aren't willing to ignore anymore. Has there been anything unfair having to do with money? Unfair, did I say unfair? I meant unfair. Anything unfair having to do with money, or um, have you been feeling like you've been treated unfairly, right, by other people or within a situation? Because you're just not willing to ignore that anymore. And you're going to have the chutzpah and the energy to make the changes, and things you feel truly content in, again, are going to feel very favored. The Sun conjunct Venus transit brings love, it brings harmony, it brings peace with focus on all that you love, your creativity, your finances, a beautiful omen for all things that you value. So try not to miss it, because we can miss any of these transits, right? We have the human condition is that we have the choice to sit things out and not engage with the energy. So there's going to be a lot of really positive, very productive energy. But the thing is here, it's going to be productive to benefit you. So if you're feeling like the scales need to be balanced out, you have to have that conversation, right? This is a really good energy. I do have to say for you guys, for shopping, decorating. But remember, Venus also has a pretty profound reputation for being a little lazy and a little indulgent. So, partying and spending is definitely favored in this energy, but just don't be too gluttonous, because the Sun can always burn away something beautiful that's meant to manifest here. Right. And you don't want to do that, especially in your second house of finances. Right. So just pay attention, be really honest with yourself, because whatever conversations that you end up having here with your partner about something that matters to you, with your boss about the money that you're making, with yourself about why you keep getting in your own way, however it's going to go, it's going to be very blessed energetically right now. So I really like that. Now, March 28th, we have the full moon in Libra, re-examining relationships, me versus we. All right. And this really is very much I've been calling it like a Passover and Last Supper full moon, out of bondage into the promised land. So you might have a very, very strong need for balance right now in any of your relationships. This really could hit any of your relationships. Um, you may not want to broach that subject, that you feel like, oh, that's addressing the elephant in the room, and I don't want to open that can of worms, and I don't want to deal with that. But you have to really hear, is that's the Libra energy gets analysis paralysis pretty easily and becomes indecisive really easily. But at the same time, is all about how fair is all of this really. So you want to address any area where you don't feel like somebody's maybe showing up 100%, or maybe you're realizing you're not showing up 100%, all of that's fine, but don't feel bad to have the conversation. You have to learn how to share the good and the bad. Don't be afraid to be who you really are, despite what is expected of you at this point in whatever connection it is. Maybe it's your business partnership, maybe it's your personal relationship, friendship, anything that's like a deep bonded kind of relationship, though. That's really what we're talking about here. Okay. Now, next we have the full moon in the sixth house. So this is the thing. The sixth house rules our health, mental, physical, emotional. right? So you could be looking in the mirror and saying, that's it. This is my day. If my day-to-day experience is not working out and it doesn't change, then I need a new job. So rules your day-to-day experience in work, day-to-day experience, just generally at home, your mental, physical, emotional health, as well as your small pets. That's it. I want to get it. I want to get a pet. That's it. I have to place my animal in a new home, because I don't know, something's going on there. That's it. I'm ready to start therapy once and for all, because I've gone as far as I can on my own, and now I realize I need some help. That's it. I'm tired of having this weight on me. I'm tired of feeling out of breath. I need to start a new workout routine. So it's anything having to do with that mental, physical, emotional health, your day-to-day work environment, your day-to-day experience, whatever it is, you know. And for others of you, if none of those things resonate, it's just going to simply be this problem that's been nagging at you. Because remember, sixth house is the house of problems, right? Virgo is the landlord there. So it's where we go to solve problems, right? So we go to the house of problems to solve the problems. That's why Hermit is associated with the Virgo energy, right? So you might just have this nagging problems, be like, that's it, I have to take care of it. So these are just some examples of how the full moon transiting your sixth house can manifest. But of course, you don't necessarily need to burst forth with these emotional declarations like this, especially if you plan in advance. You know, always be forewarned is to be forearmed. So the only thing with this energy, you want to really, really avoid blaming others. If you have any area of discontent having to do with how you're feeling mentally, how you're feeling physically, how you're feeling emotionally, or what you're experiencing at work, even though your reaction and your response to a situation can be the very reason why you're not feeling your best self, if that is in fact the case. um, for sure, but it's about ownership, right? Because you don't want to get into the blame game and pointing fingers. I'm just talking about energetically, guys. Those of you who've been watching me know I'm a heavy believer in karma. And so I always advise to be very, very careful how we even word things to ourselves when we're feeling a certain way, because no one can actually make us feel a certain way. We make ourselves feel a certain way in response to. And then we have to ask ourselves, why are we even exposing ourselves to that energy? And then we need to address it, right? So it's about, and there's something very empowering about that. So it's the only thing because if you blame somebody else, you're not going to be able to do the work that you're meant to do in this beautiful energy right now. You could use the surge of emotional energy to make positive changes in your routines. And again, in any area that you feel like you might need a little updating in. But do a little something to improve your work conditions if that's the case, if somebody's annoying you there, even if it's just something small, or get a new job, really good. Again, this is really good getting your ducks in a row energy. Go start a new exercise program, even if it's only for 15 minutes a day. It doesn't matter. Anything that you've been toying in your mind that you feel like is going to end up helping you, maybe just cutting carbs out a little bit, maybe stop drinking so much alcohol, just cut back, or, just even if you like the silly, in this energy, it's so gracious, this energy that I'm talking about, that even the silliest little, accommodation is really going to be really, really beautiful for you. So that's what I have as far as the astrology for this particular month. So I'm going to drop the screen down and we're going to pull some cards now, okay, for general energies for the month for our Taurus friends. I'm still going to be doing my regular tarot reads for the week. Six of Wands, 10 of Cups, the Devil, Emperor, two big major arcanas there. Hangman, Judgment. Oh, lots of major arcanas here. Taurus. Wow. Okay, so we have coming into this energy, the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is about obstacles, but you may have the resilience to overcome whatever challenge you're dealing with. This does tell me that success is in reach for whatever it is that you're going for, whether it's something to do with work, it might be a relationship, but more like morality and your personal philosophy is very important to you right now. Now, for those of you who are dealing with a relationship, things may be a little challenging right now. You may need to, now, this is in the recent past. So, coming into this energy, you may have felt like you were in a situation where you had to fight for your relationship temporarily. Stand up for your relationship. And again, standing up for the relationship only if you're with a partner who would do the same thing for you. So you may be in this space of feeling very defensive right now. You might have been even feeling very defensive within the relationship or about a job, about a decision that you were making or that you had made. Now we have the situation right now. We have the Six of Wands. This is great because this is about success, deserve success. Great energy if you've been struggling lately, because this is acknowledgement at work. Now, for those of you in relationships, this tells me that feelings are shared, well received, very positive communication comes in that could end up leading to a deepening of a connection. But in general, this is just good news. It could be in any aspect of life, love, property, work, education, for those of you who are in that space, even really good decision making energy as well, for those of you who are in that space. So we have this being complemented by the Ten of Cups. So it's cross complemented. I suppose you're going to apply it however, but the Ten of Cups is a beautiful energy, right? It's Mars and Pisces. It's about contentment, family contentment, benefits of security. Great time for family, great time for partnerships. What you have is what you have in your mind's eye, what you've been looking to manifest, what you've been working hard on will finally come together. So this can be in romance, this could be in methods of communication, this could have to do with business, that family situation, friendship situation, whatever it is. So really, really nice. So good success energy here. So we go from needing to defend to things being pretty good here, but we do have the crowning energy is the devil. So the devil energy can mean a couple of different things depending on how you're resonating with it. And always remember numerology, though, this is the lover's energy, believe it or not, right? Which is always about needing to make a decision. So are we going to allow the imbalance or are we going to keep it going, right? Are we going to allow it or are we going to put an end to it? Because these key words here are more like, it's like temptation, imbalance, enslavement. So those of you in relationships, these difficult relationships are indicated here, like maybe you were dealing with a controlling partner, or you were in some situation where it was like a lust over love situation, either you or a partner, somebody had an affair. Maybe there was some sort of codependent patterns working out here. Maybe for some of you are maybe separated or want to be separated. The devil energy makes you financially dependent, or maybe some other ongoing money or property issue keeps you tied to the past. And so that could always be challenging. If it has nothing to do with that, if it has to do with maybe career or money, you're experiencing maybe some financial contract that is that's bad for you ultimately, or you may be just realizing you're in a career that's just very unsatisfying. Like maybe you have a domineering boss or you're in a toxic work environment, but you stay because you feel financially trapped. But this can indicate, though, a domineering person in any area of your life. So it could even be like a landlord or any kind of psychic vampire, you know what I mean? Like those kind of friends who just drain the hell out of you, or just generally negative people. But you may be in a space where you feel kind of like controlled and invaded right now. It's like, okay, step back, cowboy, right? You don't belong there. I need to keep up my boundaries a little bit. Yeah. And so we have that working with the foundation is the Emperor energy. The Emperor is Aries energy. Aries is ruled by Mars. So again, depending on how this is resonating with numerology. What's interesting about this is associated with the death energy. So the death is about ending something to begin something new. It's about new beginning, fresh path, new perspective, right? And that really is the Emperor energy because it's Aries. Aries is the baby of the zodiac, right? So this is really about taking control. This is about ambition, security energy, leadership energy, very determined, fresh path, new perspective. So for those of you in relationship, if you're single, excellent energy for meeting somebody new who's very fantastic, who values tradition. Future plans and practical matters for others of you are being addressed. If this is not somebody brand new, you're like talking about, all right, so where are we going to live? What are we going to do? How are we going to work this out? Whatever in your current relationship, you're addressing some important issues that maybe you've been putting off discussing. In career, having to do with money, finances, or getting organized and balanced. I really like it. Balance is found in work or some sort of money matters that you have going on. Situation at work is maybe pretty fair at this time. But the thing is, if what you're doing doesn't motivate you or impassion you, you might feel really, really stifled here. And you're like, oh, I'm just not vibing it. And a lot of you may feel that with the devil energy, where if you're working in this situation where you're just like, you know, it's all right, but I'm just not getting what I want. I don't really jive with my boss. I'm really not square with my colleagues. You know what I mean? Could certainly be like that. Some of you might be dealing with, if you're in a relationship already, the devil energy with the emperor can indicate somebody who's very controlling and they want what they want when they want it, how they want it, when they want it kind of thing. Um, so you may be dealing with somebody's big ego that way. So, but you and only you here, we have the judgment energy. So keywords here, assessment, letting go of the past, making a decision about the past, right? If it has to do with relationship, the relationship is assessed and it shifts into a new phase. Because remember, the judgment always, it's Pluto energy, right? It's the modern ruler is Pluto, and so it's about endings and beginnings and digging things up from the past. So it is about the past. So there's time here. So you're looking at the past. So there may be a need for reconciliation for some of you if you deem the relationship worthwhile, if you are for whatever reason right now not with somebody. If you're totally single, you might revisit an old relationship and decide if it's worth trying again, right? So for some of you, an old friend might appear out of the woodwork and you'd be like, hey, what's going on? And that could definitely happen in Pisces season for sure. Now, if this has to do with career or money, acknowledgement for your success is coming. This does tell me that finances are going to be improving. Others of you, if you're in a space of dealing with any kind of property, you might find yourself drawn to like an old property or a place that holds really happy memories for you from your past. So, really nice. But a lot of you are going to be just very focused on this idea of fair, not fair kind of thing, right? Because in numerology, this has to do with the high priestess, which is a very internal energy, and justice, right? It's like, what was fair? So, forgive and forget. I can forgive. I'm not forgetting, that kind of thing. And so we have this external energy it's happening external to you, but it's impacting you. The Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands, fire energy, auspicious for every area of your life. This does indicate like new beginnings, new enterprise, some sort of like new creative project, coming up with some ideas. This is all about wands are will, motivation, passion. This could also indicate a new chapter of passion in your life, right? So this could be somebody new coming in, which is very interesting. Because some of you may be in a space where it's like, you know what? The imbalance I'm experiencing in my relationship and this person who wants what they want the way they want it and all of that, we need to like move past that. Right now, some of you are going to be like, I realize this person is like that. We're not together anymore. Maybe we could find healing and have a new start. Others of you may be like, I really don't think I want to stay in this anymore. And judgment is about accepting that you did the best you knew how within the situation and you allowing somebody new to come into your energy. But the thing is, your challenge here, and guys, in the same way, this could also apply to any sort of work opportunity, right? Where you have this imbalance and you're like, oh, I'm thinking it's time for me to go. And this could indicate a new job offer. But the chariot energy in your challenge, this tells me that you're having a hard time stepping away from something, right? So it's kind of like losing direction. But it's kind of a giving up energy as well, because the chariot is about being so focused on moving forward and just not allowing yourself to get really tripped up in any kind of negativity, right? It's because, in numerology, it's connected to the tower, right? Which is about, okay, if this isn't working, let's go. Let's go. Chariot is in astrology, okay, in numerology, it's the tower, but in astrology, it's Cancer. It's like, what is your metaphorical home? If this isn't it, we got to go. Swift progress, change, determination. Let's go. Let's go. But here in your challenge, you just might be, the hell with it. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be able to work. I'm just not sure. I don't know how to leave this toxic situation. You know what I mean? And doing that. And that ends up confusing you. You end up in the confusion energy. Is the hangman is about that. So some of you may literally just be hanging out waiting for somebody to, if this has to do with relationship, it's a waiting energy, but you might be in a position where you're waiting around for somebody that you're really into to acknowledge you with the same interest that you have for them, but you're unable to get that commitment that you need, or you might be the unwilling one, to commit. But and again, it's all about here. This energy is about ultimately deciding if the wait's worth it, if it's worth the effort, all the any drama that might be surrounding this. You might feel like in order for you to be able to work out a situation, you're going to ultimately end up having to sacrifice something that matters to you. So that's how it can manifest relationship. Now, if it's to career, things just might seem really unclear with work right now. If you're really in that space, hold back on signing any contracts or dealing with any legal matters. And again, because this is Neptune and Neptune does rule Pisces, and we're going to be in Pisces season. I just, for a good part of the month, and we go into Aries, but I mean, a good part of the month, there's a lot of energy from Pisces. So, just hold back on stuff if you can, because things might be going on that you're not yet aware of, that's just like such a Neptune smoke and mirrors kind of thing, so you might experience some delays, but ultimately you are going to be protected. So don't worry about that. Now, some of you, if it doesn't resonate with you on any of those levels, this could have something to do with your home, having to do with like the sale of a home, the purchase of a home, the remodeling of a home. So just if you're feeling this, try to find a creative solution to an issue that you're dealing with, and listen to your intuition. See what your belly is telling you can be implemented as a solution here. Right, in the near future. So this is in the near future. Now we do have the Knight of Swords as this final outcome energy. So this is, the Knight of Swords is like very expect the unexpected, very unpredictable, roller coaster energy, highs and lows, sudden truths coming out, these underlying conflicts that you may be suspected, but you weren't sure, suddenly come out. And now, depending on where you're at, these truths coming out can be huge relief for you. For others of you, it's going to be majorly confusing, depending on what your situation is. So just wait for things to settle before you make a move here, right? Now, you might be dealing with a Knight of Swords energy, and this would be somebody who is very forthright. Let's just say that. We'll say very determined, ready to fight for what they believe in. It could be male or female, doesn't matter, even though it's a knight. Also, in relationship, this energy can get bored very easy and moves on, and they create drama, lots of drama, take no responsibility for reconciliation, you know, leaving everybody like dead around them in their wake, right, to deal with the outcomes. They just don't want to take personal responsibilities for a situation. Now, this could be in an intimate relationship. This could be a boss. This could be somebody ornery at work. This could also be a family member who's just drama filled. You may be dealing with any of those energies here. So it does seem like there's some sort of imbalance that you're going to have to be dealing with here, addressing, and making the decision if you're going to really be able to pull yourself away from whatever is toxic and not working, because you are meant. Yeah, and you're very focused on being very happy, very focused on this 10 of Cups energy and being successful. And you really don't want to let anybody get in your way. You really don't. So you're going to have to communicate something. Otherwise, something can end up festering and growing fangs and ending up being more of a problem than it really needed to be. A personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. I like this for you. Really nice. It's kind of like what we were talking about here. Yeah. All right, Taurus, that is what I have for you. So I hope this was helpful for you in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in a couple of days when I just do the tarot only for relationship and career as I normally do. All right, I'll see you guys then. Bye bye.